Well, good early morning to you. It is 2:09 in the morning on June 7th. Wow, we've got more storms moving in. Right now, the storms are not severe, but we are under a tornado watch, and there's a whole gaggle of storms out west. Those storms out west are ugly. They've had wide swaths of about 75-mile-per-hour winds. They're all moving east. They'll be possible here into the dawn hours. We're getting this first wave now. The second wave comes through a little bit later. Let me show you what's happening. First things first, let's get to why don't we check out a big picture view and show you what this looks like. So these storms are all lifting to the east and northeast. They got a ton of lightning in them. You guys are probably going to wake up when this stuff moves on through. You can see it lifting northeast up towards Fayetteville, as well as Tahlequah and Muskogee, some strong storms, even a little bit out towards Ozark this morning as well. So the lightning, yeah, it's all over the place. We've had a lot of lightning with this storm, and we'll see a lot more. You can see this is from Fayetteville. This is looking northbound, just a constant strobe light almost here with all the lightning that's out there from the storm that's currently moving in. Again, that's from the southwest over towards the north and northeast. So let's talk a little bit more about this, where it is, and where it's going. So, actually, you know what? Before we do that, let's look for any rotation first. This is the guy that I was looking at right there. Sure enough, it's got a little hook on it right there. So that's going to be one we need to watch. That's just to the west of Siloam Springs, within the storm here. And we'll look at that on analysts coming up just to double check it. All right, so let's start from north to south first, and you can see the thunderstorms here right over Gentry. By the way, these aren't severe at the moment, even though they're very, very loud. But we have some strong storms in Gentry along what is that Little Flat Creek that's there, and then just north of that along Dan Road, a heavy thunderstorm in Gentry. This lifts up towards Centerton and Bentonville. You're probably already hearing some of the thunder outside from these storms that are moving through. That's going to move up through Fayetteville too. So in Fayetteville, we have the storms that are pretty much on top of us out towards White Rock. Here's West Weddington running east and west. You can see West Weddington getting hit pretty hard right now. And then looking a little closer, West Persimmon Street here in Fayetteville. And then that travels eastward. Where are we at? If we look at, let me zoom out just a second here. So we got the Fulbright Expressway here to the north. MLK is here. So this is really moving right over the University of Arkansas here in about the next 5 minutes or so. Right now, it looks like it's out towards West Somerville Lane and North Blurry Lane, I think. Everything's a little blurry. It's 2 in the morning to me, guys. That just moved over the interstate on I-49, so that's going to be moving more towards Razorback Road. There's Donald W. Reynolds right there. So we're essentially right over Razorback Stadium right now for the heaviest of these showers and the thunderstorms. That camera shot I showed you a moment ago was for for Garland. Let's see if we can get you one that's a little bit closer. Kind of shows a detail what's happening right here at this very location here. We'll take the Weddington exit. Good night, nurse. Look at this. That's Weddington. Holy cow. The storm may not be severe, but it sure feels like it and sounds like it, doesn't it? That's looking southbound on I-49, and goodness, there's just a lot of lightning out there. And this is from Weddington with the heavy storms. Look at the sheets of rain, the curtains of rain there from the semi. You kind of see the cars out in the distance, can't you? Not really. It's heavy, heavy rainfall. So that heavy one that moved over the interstate that I was watching is out there towards Holtz Drive, North Thomas Avenue, and West Markham. This is right over the University of Arkansas campus right now, as it tracks to the northeast. There's Baum Stadium. Hey guys, I think we do clear out a little bit later this afternoon. So baseballing it up. We're good there. Looking back to the north, let me zoom out a little bit more here. It's probably not even Baum, is it? I really shouldn't try to list the geographical locations at 2:13 in the morning. You get the idea, though. We've got some heavy storms, and these storms are here to stay, and they're going to be around for a while here. Up and down South Razorback Road, there's bomb. Bombs right there. It's still storming there too. So we've got it going all over the university. Waking up this morning. Another cell here looks pretty strong. That's going to be crossing Rupel Road right now. In fact, it just did. It's about to cross 49, right there along Woodridge and looks like West Essex Drive and West Wallflower Streets. That's right at exit. Exit 65 in Fayetteville. That's a lot of lifting north too. So we're gonna get that in Johnson. We'll get it in Springdale. We're also gonna get it in Lowell here coming up here in just a bit. Look here back to the north. Out in Decatur on 59. We got this little bad boy going on here. Where is this? This is gonna be Browning Road, just south of Decatur. Of course, we had those big storms in Decatur earlier today. We got another one that's rolling through. Here's 102 running east and west. There's Centerton and Bentonville. And then let's go to analyst. Let's do that right now and just look at these storms a little bit closer. This would show us the warnings too. By the way, no warnings on this, but given the fact that it was just so rough and wild lately, it'd be interesting to see what's going on and track some of these things as they move through. Um, Not the radar. Look out west. That was like that's kind of crazy. There's a PDS. What is that? Severe thunderstorm warning. Look at this real quick. I'm just curious. Golly, yeah, they're calling for 80-mile-an-hour wind gusts with this. You can't really see the red that deep because we're on the local radar site. We'll go back over to the other radar here in a second and look at that. All right, so first things first. Anything spinning going on with any of this stuff? Here's Fayetteville. Let's look inside the storm here for that. No, got some strong wind gusts here in Fayetteville. Looks like a little pixel of even stronger winds west of Johnson. That's embedded within the cell. That makes sense, just considering how intense that storm is. And then moving back to the north, you've got some gusty winds from Decatur through Hifel and out through Tawnytown. Maybe a little bit of stronger winds west of Johnson, and some brief gusty winds too in Fayetteville. This is the guy here though that I think we need to watch. I think this one is one that we could throw out a tornado warning eventually, just based on the shape of it. Um, I guarantee the Weather Service is watching this thing. Is there anything else out west? Let's look. Not really. This is the main one that's been spinning. Let's see here. Ooh, yeah, it's tightening up too. It's moving more east. I'd be curious to see where this one goes with time. I think it's going to take it. Seems like Salem Springs, man. We get hit by everything this year. Wow, look at that gust of wind too. This was a little earlier. You see that? That's northeast of Summers, north of Lincoln. That was a big gust of wind that happened right through there. And then that's all moving to the north too. So that's all going to be affecting Rogers and Springdale. So we'll keep an eye on this little guy here and see what happens. Again, that's the one I'm worried about as far as any kind of rotational risk goes. There's something trying here now, but it's very disorganized on radar. The radar presentation isn't that impressive, so I don't think that's really one to be too much concerned with. Time is 2:17 in the morning now. Let's see what we got. A little bit of hail, not much. Showing half-inch hail here and 0.63, so just shy of quarter size hail with that thunderstorm that's moving in. Looks like Johnson and let's see here. Out over Johnson, the Fulbright Expressway right there. See that? Pretty stout. This is the one I was telling you about right here. Watch right there. Let's see here. May look a little wonky just for a second. Bear with me, just for 1 second here. Had the clock off. You gotta have the clock on if it's like two something in the morning, so we know what time it is, right? All right, so the clock's back on. Okay, so um, we got the storms here lined up pretty much from northwest Benton County back right through Fayetteville. Heavy thunderstorms in the Fayetteville area. These are all tracking northeast. Now we're going to get more too. So I think the heaviest actually isn't this round. It's the stuff a little later. It's the stuff closer to dawn and daybreak later today when these stronger storms start to move on in. But you can see just the amount of lightning within this is just kind of wild out there. There's another look at it here, looking live here with the showers and storms that are moving through. We'll go back to the other radar here and we'll get in on street level mapping a little bit. So here's a wide view of the storm here. We move first. I'll take a loop from loop it a little longer, show how it's evolved. The wave looks like it's lifting northeast, doesn't it? Able to get first Friday in though, out in the Bentonville Square. Actually, weather's pretty nice for it then. Today is my son's birthday. I have a 14-year-old now, y'all. Probably why I can't sleep. We're gonna be driving soon. What are we in for? Ew. All right, so let's look at this again. Stop the radar there. Go to velocity. Still have some rotation here on this storm. And have some gusty winds on the storms here from Elm Springs and then back out through Fayetteville. It's a wide view as it moves through. Showing some of the heavier storms too. Man, still right over Fayetteville. Really coming down heavy here from um, right near Johnson and then over the Fulbright Expressway is really where this is the heaviest right now. I'm looking at the Garland index and I'm trying to find you guys one. Oh yeah, this is a good one here. This will show us all kinds of stuff. So this is the Fulbright Expressway here, looking eastbound. So it's kind of like when you head, like you're going to the Northwest Arkansas Mall. Um, the little beacon rotating there at the top left of the screen, if you can see it inside the left box here, I'll go full screen. That's a Washington Regional. So it is coming down right now, big time here, in Fayetteville and in Farmington, also out there towards Johnson. We were looking right in here. So that's out towards Van Ash, North Gregg, Appleby Road, West Joyce, East Zion Road. There's heavier storms out towards 265 running south in Fayetteville and West Stone Street, West MLK, West 15th Street, and then West Cato Springs Road. If we go out to the east here, you can see some of the showers and storms still ongoing. On the east side of Fayetteville as well, getting out towards Baldwin, pretty strong storm there. That's around East Huntsville Road, and then moving south out towards Hunt Lane, and then getting into River Meadows Drive, East Black Canyon Street, East Troon Street, East Oakmont, South Pumpkin Ridge Drive, South Cherry Hills Drive, and East Goff Farm Road, along with East Spanish Bay Place. That's again on the southeast side of Fayetteville. For some of those strong storms that are moving through, you can even drop farther south here along the South Main and see some of those storms that are moving into um, Willoughby Road, there south of Fayetteville. Elm Springs, we've got a pretty nice little storm on top of us too. This is lifting north, so this is going to be right along Brush Creek Road. Looking farther south here, it's going to put this thing Liberty Avenue, and let's see here. Really shouldn't sleep in your contacts. It gets really blurry when you wake up and start covering storms. They're disposables though. You're allowed to sleep in them for like a week, not 2 weeks. Sorry, doctor. Mason Valley, Vaughn, Cave Springs, Rocky Comfort, Heifel. Man, this just moved over X and A, didn't it? That's along West First Street. Here's 12th, and that runs out to the north. That would be West Holland. So that's over there by the Holland Barn, isn't it? Just east of Heifel. That's going to move right over Cave Springs. Rocky Comfort's got it now. Here's Elm Springs, so the heavier cell seems like it's right there. Snavely Road, looks like. Let's check in on these storms back to the west and see if they got any spin stuff going on with them still. That one still does. It's very weak though. Let's do a little analysis here looking at it. It's wild right here with that. I bet we got wind damage right in this area. The east of Cincinnati. I was looking at that big bright red that popped up there just west of North Jackson Highway. Oh, it's right there too, right? Yeah. All right, so we got some stuff to keep an eye on. Let's go back to the northwest here and look at Centerton. So this is Mason Valley, Vaughn, Centerton, and 102 running east and west. Looks like we've got some stuff near east. Centerton Boulevard moving in along North Main Street. You can probably hear the rumbles of thunder. I know you can as you get farther west on 102 there. Um, it's really coming down here along South Caulfield Cemetery Road, Goodlet Road, and West Tycoon. And then, of course, over Fayetteville, too. I'm just watching this strobe light going on like crazy over here on the other monitor. I mean, good night. Look at that stuff. Of course, when I pull it up, nothing happens, right? That's usually the way it goes. Now you can still see it. There's still quite a bit going on. The heaviest actually has moved over this location, is on the east side of Fayetteville now. It's not really directly over us like some of those other storms were just a moment ago, but along West Maple and West Lafayette, here's Dixon Street right here. So it's coming down over Dixon, over towards the Washington County Courthouse, North Mission Boulevard, and North Street. Got that cell pretty much right on top of Fayetteville. And then on the east side of town, out towards Wyman and North Crossover, you can see some of these showers and storms too that are around North Star Drive, East Cherokee Drive, Hunter Ridge, Navajo Court, and East Whippoorwill Lane. So those storms are also going to be trending and tracking northeast. We just had it move through Elkins, Harris. Right now in Elkins, it's on the north side of town, more towards Richland Creek Avenue and River Oak there. With that storm that's moving in, that's going to be tracking east too. Here's a wide shot. Let's look at these storms coming into Rogers, huh? This little cell here is right along the Pleasant Grove Road area where they've built another roundabout, which hasn't shown up yet on the screen. You know, they build the roundabouts so fast, it's tough to keep up with them on the radar maps because they change every day. Okay, well, maybe not every day, but there's quite a few. I'm not against roundabouts. I'm against people that don't know how to use them because they actually work pretty good if you can go through them without some bozo making a left turn into a right lane. Whatever. How about New Hope? That wasn't me, by the way. You can always go to the Bad Drivers of Northwest Arkansas Facebook group. I'm probably on there somewhere. Hopefully not. I know I've posted on there somewhere. Uh-oh, there goes a police officer. Someone's getting a ticket. Let's see. Let's go back to radar now. Not the front. How about this one? There we go. Cave Springs, 264. There's Healing Springs Road. So kind of get your bearings here and go to the other radar. It would actually help to see what I'm talking about. You have 264 running east-west, and then you have 112 running north-south here. So the stoplight is right here. That's the Casey's right there at Cave Springs, and then there's that left turn that you make over by the escape room, um, off 264 as you're heading out towards X and A. Here's Osage Mills. Some of those storms are pretty heavy along Phillips Cemetery Road and Mill Dam Road, right along the Little Osage Creek. By the way, those creeks are up. My goodness, have we've had so much rainfall. The heavy storms too. Are going to keep lifting north up toward Rogers here shortly. I mentioned Pleasant Grove. It looks like this is moving over south 28th place. This is on I-49 near Ajax Avenue. So this is that. No, there's a roundabout that showed up. That's the roundabout where you can kind of take the shortcut to the neighborhood market over there on the left, or you can go to Texas Roadhouse if you go to the right. Um, that's along South 28th Place, Greensway, and right there along the Osage Creek. I'm telling you, these creeks are really going to be up. Here's Bellevue running north and south, and there's Pleasant Grove, Bellevue intersection right in here. So I think you get First Baptist Church right there, and then you cross over the interstate, which is the storm just did. Now it's on the east side of Pleasant Grove, east side of exit 81. So here's Pleasant Grove Road and South Dixieland running north and south. So um, you got the Walmarts right in here with all the shareholders. Um, and what do we got up here? Was that Academy right there? There's some crazy wind damage over here last year, wasn't there? These apartment complexes. Let's zoom back out here and see what's going on farther to the northwest. Hey, Centerton, we've got some storms now. which have had some storms, but they picked up in intensity too on East Centerton Boulevard. Uh, Same place as this morning. Here's Town View Road running east west. Here's West State 70, West Highway 72, and then Southwest 8th Street. Here's Elms Tree, Southwest Elm Tree, and Tater Black. So that's going to be out along Southwest Gibson. Um, Looking at it near Southwest Carriageway Avenue, Southwest Limestone Avenue, Brownstone Avenue, Slate Avenue. I wonder if this was a geoscientist that did this. Also near, let's see, Chasestone, Broadstone, and then to the west of that near Coventry Lane, Kensington Drive, Corby Trace, Medway Lane, and Essex Way. So that's where the leading edge of this is. That's all coming into Bentonville, by the way. Oop, there it goes. New scan shows. So now we're getting into Bentonville on the west side of town along Southwest Second and North Walton Street. Here's 8th and Walton. So here's where the home office is. The old home office. The new one's over on the right side of town by the Momentary. It's gonna all get hit by this thunderstorm moving in. Farther south, we've got these storms too along Stony Brook. This is right on I-49, pretty much coming over where that where Mercy is and Embassy. In fact, you can kind of tell there when you look at it on the left side of the screen. That's looking southbound, so that's looking into where all this lightning's happening here near Embassy. There's a full shot of it. And going back to radar real quick. Oop, there we go. So this is let's see, this is right over Cross Church and exit 83, Promenade Boulevard. The mall's going to be right here. Here's Perry. Runs out towards Rogers High School, and then South Dixieland over here, which is going to be in New Hope. So this is by the Rogers Police Department. They're about to get some of this stuff moved through. These storms at the moment are not severe, but they're super loud. And given the fact that, well, let's just be honest, the storms this morning were a hell of a lot stronger than I thought they'd be. My goodness gracious. These will not weaken. The ones yesterday weakened, but they weakened like in Russellville and not on the Arkansas-Oklahoma state line like it looked like I thought it would. So these are probably going to be, as they move on through, we're probably going to see quite a bit more stronger storms towards daybreak, especially with the push that's out west. Maybe that's what we should look at next. Um, I know we've got some storms too to the south. I'm going to drop there real quick and just take a look peek at those. Those moved through Ozark just a second ago. Those are up north of town, out towards Watalula and Westview Road. That's lifting north. That also is no factor for any kind of tornado or anything like that, at least at the moment. I'm going to go to a let me do this. Why don't we go to a wide view? This is the radar, but if we do a composite, see how blobby it is. You don't ever want to use composite radar when you're tracking storms like this. If you see meteorologists do it, just turn the channel because they're not using the radar right. You want to use the local Doppler radar sites with dual pol instead of a composite view. So here's a wide view of it, and this is what we've got coming our way. See this little line right here near Bartlesville? That's the one I'm a little more concerned with, just because that's the one that's had the history of like the 80-mile-an-hour wind gusts. I'm drinking a sparkling ice with coconut and pineapple, in case you wondered, because 2:30, why not? So once this line gets here out towards Ponca City, I think the wind damage threat goes way, way up for most of northwest Arkansas and the Ozarks. This is kind of like the first round that we're getting before the second thing moves in a little bit later. That second one is closer towards dawn. It'll be a couple hours out before that one gets here. Let's go back to the other radar and you can see what I'm talking about. Actually, let's change radar sites. And why don't we use, what do y'all want to look at? You want to look at Enids? That line right there. Again, that's out towards Ponca City. And there's a new severe thunderstorm warning that just got triggered for that. This is a lot of wind that's headed this way. That's out around Bartlesville. So that warning, I bet you over time that thing gets extended downstream and is probably going to be getting into northwest Arkansas in due time too. So I'll change from that radar site. Let's go over to Tulsa's radar now. That's the terminal Doppler. Those are kind of cool. Some of the radars have their own Dopplers as well. They're real short range. So it's just for like approach control to let them know what's going on. This is out towards Inola, where the Doppler is in Tulsa, and this was the cell earlier that had some rotation on it. Let's see if it's still doing anything. It's so weak. It's not even really that. It's not really wrapped up at all. Actually, that was the second one. The first one's right here. See it? See if you can make it out right there. So you had that first pocket, and then you got another one behind it. That's interesting, as they both lift to the north. Let's check it out for some gusty winds. Oh, yeah, we got some gusty winds from Centerton out towards Bentonville. Heavy wind and rain here with the storm moving in. Let's see here. Especially out around Rogers right now. My goodness. Heavy thunderstorms near West New Hope moving east. This is coming out towards South 8th, South 8th Street, heading down New Hope out towards Old Wire and South 1st Street. So this is getting out there towards the ball fields. There's Montenay, West Oak, South 8th, Prairie Creek Drive, east side of Rogers. Really getting a lot of this right now too, along East Hilltop Drive and Timbertop Drive. Excuse me. The storms that are out there though are not. If you're just waking up and saying, "What's going on?" You grab your phone and you're like, "Why is this bozo talking at 2 in the morning?" Well, these storms, well, given the history that we had last night, I thought we'd just jump on here and talk a little bit about the storms that are happening now because we do have a tornado watch, which is in effect for the entire area um, with the storms that are moving through. And we also have more storms back to the west. So, again, that wide view shows these lifting east, northeast, and then you have the complex. That thing is just racing near Ponca City. Holy cow, man. That thing is flying. There's going to be all kinds of warnings on that as that thing picks up some speed and momentum and moves on to the east northeast. And then we got these guys here to watch near Salem Springs and Tahlequah. No rotation in there though. There's some pocket of stronger winds, I think, northeast of Tahlequah. And then Rogers Lowell. If we zoom into Lowell now, here's South First Street and Old Wire Road. So out towards McClure, First Tee, Frisco Cemetery Road, um, Page Boulevard, North Primrose, Roden Lane, and then to the north along Stony Point Road, pretty much running right along Frisco Cemetery Road until you get out towards Beaver Lake here. Moving farther to the east near Hickory Creek, we have some of these storms that are ongoing too near Hickory Lane, Hilltop Road, Lakeview, Tyson Road, and let's see, here's 264. So along Cedar Street, Beaver Drive, Hickory Lane, Lakeview Drive, right near the Hickory Creek area is getting this thunderstorm that's about to track in. Bethel Heights, we've got a pretty nasty storm over us too. This is the north side of Springdale, so that's over towards um, South Old Wire Road, Dick Trammell Highway. I didn't know he had a highway named after him too. That's pretty cool. South Oak Street, West County Line, West Morris Avenue. Here's North Thompson running north and south into coming out of Springdale, running up to the north. It's a little heavier there at that intersection of what is that, Apple Blossom and North Thompson Road, Chief Truman Brewer Street. That tracks north. Oh, look, another Rogers roundabout. There's two on this shot. So this is right there on South Dixieland and JB Hunt Corporate Drive. So familiar with that is that's isn't that over there by the Seven Brew, I think. Um, the Starbucks is right here off Bloomington and Monroe. Do I need coffee this morning? Maybe that's what's going on. Probably. So here's Monroe. There's Gold Springs Road running north. Here's Garrett Road, not named after me. And then moving to the east, you can see it along Cross Creek Boulevard. Some heavier storms that just moved through. Those are lifting north, and then we have more storms right up through here near Rogers and New Hope, Dixieland. Here, Ulrich. A strong thunderstorm near West Lilac and South 11th Place, just off of New Hope Road here. Here's South 13th Street. running up towards the north off of New Hope. So what is that? That's that's Elmwood right there, and that would be Bonnie Grimes here to the just south of that. Here's First Street running north and south, and those storms are going to be tracking towards another roundabout near Pleasant Ridge Road and East Mulberry Street, along with East Pinion Street, South D Street. This is the area that got hit so hard last year from all those storms. Thankfully, this one doesn't have a tornado warning or anything like that. Doesn't even have a severe thunderstorm warning on it. We are under a tornado watch. That's why I thought it'd be important just to talk about what's happening right now. Let's move on into Bentonville now and see where these storms are currently located. Here's Southwest 8th Street coming across Walton. It's been raining really heavily here on the west side of Bentonville, towards Bentonville West, and really south of, are we south of 102 here? And we're just north of 102 here off of Southwest 14th Street. So south Morris Street, Southwest Aztec Place, Southwest Pawnee Lane, Southwest Choctaw Street, running up to Southwest Sims Drive. Here's 2nd Street and South Walton Boulevard. There's the big super center, and then there's the water towers there, and I think you got the what Pill Compton House right here, Pill Mansion, Paul, and then there's the home office. Let's move north. Here's Central running towards downtown. Boy, like I said, we got a nice first Friday in. We got the farmers market this morning. Now it's gonna be a little sketch. We're gonna have to see how this thing goes. Because we may have those storms out there early on during the first part of the day. Here's Main Street. I'm gonna zoom in a little more and a little more. There's Second and Central. I'm looking out towards the Bentonville Square right now. Those are going to track right down Central out towards J Street, and then eventually move towards NWAC. Here's Northeast John DeShields. There's a Bentonville roundabout. So this is where that roundabout that takes you either to the Amazeum, which is right in the middle of the screen, or Crystal Bridges, which is right in here. That's going to be tracking towards the east, close out towards Tiger Boulevard. There's exit 88, Trails End Drive, Garden Trail, File Lane, Ivy Place, North Walker, Northeast 6th Street, and Northeast 4th Street. This is on the west side of 49 right now, pretty much stretching between Southeast 8th Street and North Tiger Boulevard, right over Bentonville, basically, is where this thing is. Here's Tiger. So you've got these all tracking to the north here from Northeast Tiger Boulevard towards Northeast Chapel Hill Drive and Northeast Greenbrier Road, as well as Northeast Rock Street. Boy, Sugar Creek, I bet it's up too, isn't it? Southwest 8 and Southwest I. I was gonna say this is that intersection here that's always backed up, but I could say that literally about any intersection in Bentonville, probably even right now. It's 2 in the morning on Saturday. Hey, it's a traffic jam. Probably not, but maybe. Here's Southwest 14th and Walton. Looks like Southwest 16th, Jonathan Drive, Southeast 13th, Southeast 12th. Storms out along Rachel Avenue and Southeast J Street, tracking into the area. Moberly Lane has got it. Looks like the heaviest is actually now over Rogers on the east side of the interstate near Easy Street and Hudson. Here's North Second and Northeast Hudson. So we're out there towards the Rogers Airport right now. This stuff is tracking towards Prairie Creek along East Locust. There's Lake Atalanta right here, so we're getting. I get that. Bet that lake's full, but like we've said, everybody's gonna be begging for this stuff here in about 2 months anyway. Although June's typically, well, June's a wet month. We get these overnight complex. Overnight complexes are not uncommon at all in June. It's just basically night after night after night of storms. We had them last night. not for last. We have them tonight. Probably gonna get another one tomorrow night. Cool. And then it gets a little bit um, cooler, actually, a little bit below normal temperatures for June. Let's see here. Hickory Creek, where are we? Railroad Cut Road. New scan just moved through. War Eagle. Hey, parents got some kids out here at camp too, huh? They're gonna be okay with this round. That's moving through tonight. Of course, without an air conditioner, I don't know that I would be okay at camp, but the kids are gonna be okay. It's pretty loud. At around sunrise, though, they're gonna get another big wave of showers and storms that moves through. Another round here out over Fayetteville. This is between Fayetteville and Springdale and Johnson. Still heavy, man. It has been coming down in this area here for about the last 15 minutes. That's why flash flooding is going to be more of an issue over time, too. Let's see if we can look at this sucker here. This is out towards that interchange. Looking, wait, southbound from the Fulbright Expressway? Yep. Looking at the thunderstorms. So these storms are all tracking over Fayetteville still. Lots of lightning and thunder within them. Visibility looks pretty good, though. It doesn't look like it's raining here anymore like it was earlier. And the visibility really, really dropped off. Back to the thunderstorms out over Johnson. Again, running from Van Ash, East Joyce, moving in towards Johnson Mill Boulevard, Main Street. Man, give me some Wright's Barbecue. Zooming in on this area. South 48th Street over by the Big Nickel. But they're watching it tonight, too. Johnson Mill Boulevard West. And then this is out there towards those medical facilities that are on the west side of the interstate. Willow Creek. That's what I'm trying to think of. That's going to move northeast. You're probably going to get a little louder too at Willow Creek with that next round that moves through and lifts northeast. What's going in Salem Springs again? Salem Springs, I haven't looked to see how much rainfall we've seen for the year, but I bet you it's up there. There's been so many storms, so many big, heavy rainmakers that have moved over Salem Springs over the last couple months of severe weather season here. You can see the storms moving through now, right? The casino's there on the right side of the screen, out in the distance, kind of where that big bright light is. This storm's moving over. It's not warned or anything right now, so no tornado warnings or severe thunderstorm warnings with it, but still a fairly strong storm here that's tracking in. Here's another look at it on radar. That's up towards Lake Francis. New sweep just puts it right over town, out towards JBU, East Main Street, East Tahlequah, Cherry Whitlock Drive, Country Club Road, and then that runs out towards the north. We get to a wide view again, guys. Look at this. Look at this real quick. Hang on. Nope. I'm on Tulsa's radar, so I may switch radar sites here in a second after I animate it. I was looking to see if this little thing was trying to get its stuff together. It's not. That's fine. We don't want it to get its stuff together. Let's change radar sites and go to, boop, there we go. Change it to the Fort Smith radar site. See what this looks like. You can see the same thing here with some weak, little pocket of weak rotation north of Westville. I'm trying to get it. And West, what's up with Westville? It's the same thing, right? We've had like 3 storms that moved through. So that's going to be an interesting one to keep an eye on here for a couple of frames. But really, it's the stuff out west and what I was mentioning earlier. I had to change radar sites to view it, but it's the stuff that's out there right in here near Ponca City and Bartlesville. Once that thing moves in, that's going to have more of a damaging wind potential. Looks like the Weather Service did warn in Springfield on the storm that just moved through Benton County. They went ahead and justified a severe thunderstorm warning on it. Locally, we don't have any severe thunderstorm warnings in Oz, at least across northwest Arkansas, the northwest quadrant of the state. And really, that's what's pretty much being affected. If you take a big look at this thing and draw a quadrant here of Arkansas, oh, that that didn't work. Let's try that again. Let me back out a little more. So if you were to divide Arkansas in half here, like this northeast quadrant is going to get hit the hardest this morning. So that's including Fort Smith. That's all of northwest Arkansas, stretching from Russellville to Fort Smith, back on up through Rogers, Bentonville, Bella Vista, Salem Springs. That's where we're going to get the heaviest of this stuff come daybreak this morning. Let's go. Let's switch back to this radar site. I'm gonna go over to analyst in a second. I want to look at this storm a little bit closer. Um, One more look at Bella Vista here, just because they warned on this one. This is east of 71. Here's Lake Ann. I'm gonna say it wrong. Someone's gonna say it in the comments. Trafalgar, close. Lancashire. I can't say it. The GPS doesn't say it right either if I'm driving over there. Here's Hampstead Road, Wellington Road. There's Lake Norwood. So exit 98, kind of where the coming into Bella Vista, and they're like, "Hey, there's free coffee here. Stop." It's kind of in that area. Here's Kingsland, and then moving south, you can see the intersection here into the Bella Vista bypass in northeast Bentonville. The heavy cell is really on the east side of town. Silent Springs getting jacked right now, though. Look at this camera shot. Those storms are starting to come in here from the west side of town. Visibility dropped quite a bit from just a second ago. Go back to Silent Springs. Oh, yeah, you got it here. You can see it. Heaviest is actually out towards Lake Francis, just south of town right now. And then that's moving north. That area I was watching is right in here near Westville. It's right there. Hmm. Not sure about that thing right there. That is one to watch. Stuff that moved through is not a big deal at all. Analyst, don't tell us what's going on. Ew, there's a TVS that popped up on it. Now the radar algorithm saying the thing's spinning. Yeah, there's no bueno. Back it up. See how this thing is getting more red and green? The same thing we've been watching. That's not fun. Probably gonna get some kind of warning out of that. It may be severe, maybe tornado. We'll see. It definitely has that ugly shape to it, though, doesn't it? And I know there's a mesocyclone embedded in there because I tracked it earlier right there. Should really restart the computer. It's a little laggy this morning. Kind of looks like it's morphing into a supercell, doesn't it? Yeah, I'm not fond of the way that looks. If the thing does anything, it's going to be here near Westville, just northwest of Summers. Again, if it does something, it may not. The one they issued that warning on in Missouri is probably for this 1 inch hail, so quarter size hail. And then we're still blowing and going in Fayetteville. Is it even? It's like we had redevelopment. It's been raining almost in Johnson for about the last hour, it seems like. Maybe a little bit of a break once this back edge thing moves through before we get that line. So hopefully after this thing moves through, then we'll catch a small break from about maybe 3 to 7, and then the next round will move through after that. Well, right there, that's the storm to watch is this one right here. Because if we isolate just where the storm is spinning, it's right here, northwest of Westville. Just to reiterate, there's no tornado warnings. There's no severe thunderstorm warnings right now on any of this. But that's got some hail in it too. It's about half-inch size hail on that storm. And track it again here. Looks like it may have come down a little. Not really. Most of these are moving northeast too. The east movement is more deviant to the main flow, which would indicate too that it is ingesting some of those lower level wind fields. In other words, it's going to keep spinning. That heavy rounds out of Rogers in Bentonville now. Time now is 2:53 in the morning. Let's take a look at Fayetteville again. Boy, that's really heavy, isn't it? How about let me take you to maybe Stephen Carr Boulevard, looking southbound. There we go. And go back to the radar source here. Westville. Thankfully, this cell looks like it mostly passed. The heaviest is passing just south of Siloam Springs. You're like, whatever, dude. It's been thundering for an hour. I know. Where's this here? Goodness, still out over the university, isn't it? Yeah, there's MLK. There's West Stone. The heaviest part of this is over Markham and West Sawyer Lane and West Halsell Road. Here's North Razorback Road. There's Reynolds Stadium. East Mission Boulevard, running east. Zoom out a little bit here, guys. Let's take a look into this area here. Here's Crossover. Cosso Place, Candlewood, North Firewood, East Piper Glen, East Idlewood, um, East Fredericksburg Circle, Skillern Road. This is east of Crossover, moving out towards Goshen, really. Over the Fayetteville area, it's really West Maple that's getting it the most, as well as West Center Street and West Stone Street. Here's West Persimmon, Rupee Road. We're really coming in on MLK right now, isn't it? These are some heavy storms. I wonder if we can get that shot from Greenland looking north. Let's see. Here you go. Yeah, this will be a cool shot, I think. All right. So, you know, when you're traveling north on 49 and you come over the hill and you're like, there's the university. Yeah, that's the shot. So the storms are basically straight ahead from this. Visibility is not that spectacular for obvious reasons. I thought maybe we'd see some cloud to ground flashes, but I didn't see any pop up on there yet. At least not yet, anyway. Let's go back to the radar here. Again, looking at these storms over Fayetteville, out over Lincoln, too. And that was a little cell that looked a little sketch earlier, as the kids would say. Sorry, no, a little sus. Let me get it right here, just so they can cringe and hear me say that. Dad, what are you talking about? That's not cool. You're not cool. You're not funny. That's what I hear. Guys, yowza. Still think we really got to watch this thing here. You have some really strong winds coming in and out of the storm near Fayetteville. That's going to be near Westville, southwest, southwest of Fayetteville. If that did anything, got its act together, it's going to go just north of Lincoln, up from Farmington, even to Fayetteville, maybe. Hopefully not. We'll see. Got that strong cell right over Fayetteville, too. So here's another wide view of this. Going to give you an idea of what's happening here. Came up on hail sizes to about half-inch hail now. Let's loop this out. Let's see here. Wanted to check and see the Weather Service has a significant weather advisory on that storm, but no warning on it. Still looks like a pretty nasty storm to me. I like how there's a little bit of a break though before we get the next round. So it's like you get this thing that moves up, and then you get the ones that move in right behind it. Well, right there. More of a damaging wind risk at the moment. And lightning is something else with this stuff. It's just nonstop, it seems like. Let's go back to this radar. You guys that are just waking up to some thunder and lightning and wonder what I'm watching here, I'll go to a big view first. You just saw it on the other radar source, but these are all lifting north, northeast, and the storms that are west of Fayetteville are the stronger ones right now. We have one severe thunderstorm warning. It's out around McDonald County there, just across the border into Missouri. We don't have much in the way of warnings locally right now. These are mostly loud storms, but we're under a tornado watch, and that goes into the morning hours here. And we've got a ton of lightning. Looking from Fayetteville, I was just the storms start to move in. We got another one just to the left of this screenshot that's about to move in here shortly and move over the Fayetteville area. Another strong storm. Here's a look at them as they track on in. Boy, is it raining in Fayetteville. Good night. Looks like the intensity's picked up quite a bit too. Right there along East North, North College, North Gregg, North Old Wire. Let's get a little more specific here. East Berwyn Street, North Knox Drive, East Calvin Street, North Broadview Drive, East Ash, East North. That's along East Baxter, Claiborne, Prospect, Rebecca Street, Davidson Street, and North Park Avenue over Fayetteville. And then on the west side of the interstate, closer to Farmington, um, so here's 62 running west. So like you got the Lowe's and the Walmart out in this area here on the south side. Here's Rupel Road. This is heaviest out here towards Gardenia Drive, South Pepper Tree, West Lilac, South Densmore Trail, and West Old Farmington Road. South part of Fayetteville along South City Lake, West Cato Springs, South Country Club Drive, Sand Trap Drive, West 29th, 28th, 27th, and 26th Circle, all getting it, along with South College Drive and Fairway Lane. And then to the east, we have some of these storms out there near South Angels Road, Dead Horse Mountain Road, Cobalt Avenue, and Bitterroot Streets and Coolridge Streets. That's southeast Fayetteville. So really, it's more towards Drakefield, Stonebridge, out in this area. Golf course reference. Blessing's getting it pretty good too now on the west side of Fayetteville. Let's go back to some velocity products real quick. Still some spin in that thing, although it's not really wrapped up that much. Another thing I like to do is to see how these are trending, and we can do that is just taking a look at, let's see here. whether these are getting darker or lighter. You can see why that one's worn north of Bella Vista now, can't you? That intensity really ramped up there once it crossed the Missouri line. The stuff that's over us, though, I don't really see a strengthening trend on it, though. We're doing that Fayetteville storm, and there may even be a little bit of an uptick south of Siloam Springs too. Another big view of this thing moving in. This should all lift northeast too. Boy, y'all, I think it rains in Fayetteville for like 2 more hours, so it's going to be storm. Make sure you've got your phone on so you've got a way to get weather information if any warnings get issued. There may be a warning or two that comes out of this thing. Thankful this thing hasn't been able to get its act together out here. Let's go back over to analyst. Let's see. See the bright greens there just west of Fayetteville? That wasn't cell I was talking about. Yeah, it's just a smidge stronger. Well, we got some cranky skies tonight, don't you? It's the area I was watching here, north of Lincoln. Finally have some hail falling in Fayetteville too, it looks like. A half inch. Just loud out there. Your maximum estimated hail size here is close to quarter south of Siloam Springs and about half inch dime-ish size hail in Fayetteville. Again, all this stuff's going to move through Springdale and eventually Rogers too. It's kind of like the first round, and then you get the second round with the stuff that's out west that's going to move through. Look at all these reported wind gusts out here. Good night. 77-mile-an-hour wind gust. And that was a mesonet station. That was measured. That's out around Medford, Oklahoma. So you do have some nasty storms out west that are tracking in. Let's go back to this and this and then this. Boop. There we go. I'll animate this real quick. Let's watch this storm. So there's Fayetteville, right? Elm Springs, 412, running along Prairie Grove north. It's raining cats and dogs in Fayetteville right now. College, Easton. Man, y'all been getting rain for like an hour, which is fair to point out the flash flooding risk, right? I mean, when you get heavy thunderstorms like this that are just over the same place time and time again, it's a lot easier to get some of these storms to really spit out a lot of rain in a real short period of time. Here's the southbound interchange in Fayetteville. Visibility looks like crud. Here's a look at it. So that's the intersection of the Fulbright Expressway and I-49. On the radar source, we got this going on. So that is going to lift back to the north, and then we should get a small break afterwards. Hopefully, we got some of those roofs tarped and Van Buren from that morning tornado. Making a little bit of a downward trend or a little bit of a break in Fayetteville. Starting to see one here towards the south part of town. Still nothing out over like Wilson Park or anything. Farmington, White Rock. Let's check for the wind speeds again real quick, guys. And here we go. Becoming more elongated. Like to see that. It's like the rotation has come down on it. And damaging wind risk may be a little bit higher there. Let's see if we change it up here like this. Change the vector a little. I don't see any rotation anymore with that. Well, I say that. There is still some. You can almost see it right here in the middle. See how it kind of looks like a bowling ball rolling east-west? That was the area of concern that I was watching. It just hasn't been able to get its act together, which is fine. A lot of these things too, in the overnight that are with these warm fronts lifting north, some of these things are elevated, not surface based. Oh, I think we're south of the front. It's still soupy out there. Let's look at it again here. Those crack booms are waking everybody up, aren't they? Fayetteville, you're going to get hit again by this thing. So the lightning may die down, but do not get used to it because here it comes again. It's coming right back at you before you know it. There's some real cranky skies out there this morning. Just nonstop lightning in Fayetteville. My goodness, look at this. That's southbound. Again, that's the Fulbright Expressway, and some of those storms have actually started to move just to the just to, excuse me, just to the east of Fayetteville. Do you guys yawn at home? Isn't that funny how when someone yawns, everybody else yawns? You're doing it right now, aren't you? Yeah. See, I can't see it, but I know you are. Be a wind potential risk with this? It's borderline even severe. It's not even warned right now. So velocity. See that rotation has been on and off. It's off now. In fact, it looks like crap right now, which is fine. There's going to be some gusty winds with it though, and it's still going to be loud when it gets into Fayetteville. And we're still under a tornado watch. So let's go back to radar. I was looking at velocity. What I was looking at, guys, as I'm looking at this area right here, and I'm looking at those greens and reds, and I'm trying to see if they're getting brighter and tighter. And if they are, then that tends to indicate the possibility of a tornado trying to develop. But since they're broader and looser, it indicates that there's not one that's trying to develop. In fact, it's weakened substantially compared to where it was earlier. I'm a little concerned right here, actually. I was like, something's looking a little something, something. But it started to fall off now, and I think that trend should continue. So hopefully we're just in for a lot of noise with this next round that moves through. Here it is again, lifting northeast. Yeah, it looks more like garbage now, which is good. What about the southwest side? Anything fishy down here? Not really. And again, all this is going to be tracking towards the north and to the northeast. So yeah, we've got it over Fayetteville still. I tell you what, we're gonna have some flash flooding in Fayetteville. It's been raining for an hour, and now we have another big push of rain right behind it on 16. That's coming into Fayetteville. Springdale's getting it too. Heaviest in Springdale is ooh, it's like a strobe light. Can't deal with that. Chapman Road, east on Tyson Parkway. So here's the roundabout. If you're gonna go to Naturals game, which you should be able to show it on here somewhere. There it is. Naturals right there. And then you got Arkansas Children's right here. And then you cross over the interstate and you have what's right there? Neighborhood Market, another Casey's, that new Seven Brew headquarters. And of course, Tyson headquarters farther down the road. The ball fields in Springdale getting wet. Hopefully, the kids are playing some ball out there today. It's not The field's gonna be soaked. If it's turf, it's fine, right? If it's not, it's not. It's a bit muddy. Farley Road, Chapman, Levine Avenue, Hillview Court, Sandy Street, Lynn Street, Ann Street, Ellen Street, and Clark Avenue. Expect those storms to keep moving east. It looks like the heaviest is on the east side now. This is closer to Southwest N Street, coming down Sunset. Was it 5 blocks over here, I guess? Here's Thompson running south. There's that little goofy little intersection here on South Thompson. Hospitals over in this area. There's Holcomb. There's East Emma, East Huntsville, and East Mountain along South Old Missouri Road and Berry Street in Springdale. West Center Street and Church Street, Mill Street, North Shiloh Street. Here's a look at it again. Yeah, so I think the second round just clobbers Fayetteville again, guys. It may just be more of the same of what we've been seeing. Time now is 3:15 in the morning. I think I've been chatting with y'all for an hour and 6 minutes. Well, you talk about someone who likes to talk to themselves, huh? Well, I'm gonna keep watching these storms. I'm gonna chill for just a little bit. I'm instructing a spin class at 9:30 this morning, and I haven't put that together yet. So we're gonna have to put some EDM music together to wake myself up for about that class that's coming up. So that's gonna be fun this morning. And it's also my son's birthday, so I plan on spending the afternoon at the Rogers Water Park with 14-year-olds. So that should be a lot of fun. Um, it's a fun age, isn't it? I got a cookie cake for him. It's like that big. And I'm like, this is no way that like 8 14-year-olds, like one 14-year-old could eat this whole thing. Anyway, you can kind of tell too if I'm alluding to that I think the storms are probably going to be gone by mid morning. So the second part of the day actually I think looks a little bit better. It's not going to rain all day long. We get this wave moving through now, and then we're going to get another push right around dawn, and then we'll start to see this stuff fizzle around 9 10 o'clock or so. If you're headed out to the Bentonville Farmers Market this morning, or any of the other farmers markets for that matter, you might want to delay it till maybe 10 o'clock. It's kind of how it looks now. I don't think it's going to be dry as we head towards 10. May jump back on here, do some weather updates, kind of depending on how this thing trends. Um, right now, the storms are mainly affecting Fayetteville still, and with the flash flooding threat, there's a lot of noise with the storms, but the storms aren't anything to be concerned with as far as rotation goes or damaging winds. At one point, the storm that's close to moving into Fayetteville now did have damaging winds with it, or did have weak rotation, but I'll even show you here. It's right there, but it's very broad. And since it's not wrapped up, it doesn't really present a concern. In fact, nights like tonight with all this lightning, this is more one of those nights those firefighters get the calls for house fires from houses getting hit by this stuff. Springdale, Town, Cave Springs, Pedro. I wonder what that camera looks like out on 412. I know, so I was gonna wrap it up, but I haven't. Hang on. Holy cow, yeah, this is crazy. Look at this. Now, if that's not creepy, I don't know what is. That's the cell that's right over the storm in Pedro. In fact, here, let me see. Pedro there on the left near Robinson. It's like a strobe light, isn't it? Just need a little bit of disco music and a ball. Holy cow, that's a lot of lightning. I mean, that's almost nonstop. Granted, there's not a lot of city lights there, and the camera's iris is probably a little more open than usual, but still. You sweep. And it looks like we have a new flash flood warning. Shocker, right? I mean, it's been raining nonstop. I'm going to read this bulletin. I'm going to pop it up on the screen. It's going to look weird, but it's gonna be easy for all of us. What do they got? They got flash flood warning, southern Benton County, northern Washington County. They've got it going until 6:30. Heavy rain across the area. Flash flooding is ongoing. Yada yada yada. Kids are scared of storms and they're out at War Eagle. They're not happy tonight. Yeah, the whole north part of Washington County is under a Flash flood warning now. Makes sense. I wonder if we can pull up. Let's see if we can pull up the rainfall totals. You want to look at maybe 1 hour? Let's do. Well, no. Let's do storm total. It'll include yesterday's. That is why we're under a flash flood warning. Let me see here. That little area right here. That's 1.86 inches of rain just since this thing started. Near Lake Francis, we're over 2 inches of rain. And then near White Rock, we're close to 163. And then Northeast Fayetteville, 162. This is why I think Drake Field sucks. And not from an air point standpoint, but from the fact that we use it for an observation site. So Fayetteville, all right, 162, 1.5, 1.67. And then let's go to Drake Field, 0.52. So you see all these TV meteorologists showing like Fayetteville only got half an inch of rainfall. Well, really, we got an inch and a half of rainfall, but the reporting site is south of town in a valley. Really, for a better proxy for Fayetteville would be X and A, but even X and A doesn't really reflect it because they haven't had as much rainfall as Fayetteville has. So this is using storm total rainfalls with the Doppler, and you can see how this has been trending to the east. I think that flash flooding threat just continues to grow as that storm runs eastward. I wonder if we can see how much we've picked up in just 1 hour's time. In just 1 hour, the heaviest has fallen. Not a shocker. You've heard me say the same streets like 30 times. 1.4 inches of rain. This is along North Old Wire Road and North College Avenue. We picked up 1.4 along East Ash. This is all radar estimated. That's along East Gregg. And you probably got some flash flooding going on here too. 1.3. That's an hour's time. In 1 hour, we had an inch of rainfall near Sycamore and Poplar and Gregg and Wilson, Razorback Road. I mean, just soaked here. 1.42. That's in an hour's time. Again, these are rainfall totals. So there is a flash flood warning, which is now in effect for this region because of the heavy, heavy rainfall, and for good reason too, because we're going to get more of this heavy rainfall that's moving in with that second cell that's just lined up right behind it, right there. See it? I mean, it's moving right over Fayetteville again. So it's just a stormy, stormy night in Fayetteville. Eventually, that's going to lift north, come through Rogers, make us a little bit of noise. Looks like it misses Bentonville, though, as far as the big, heavy, dark red colors here. But this thing's going to be tracking right through Fayetteville one more time and dropping more rainfall. Here's another wide view. Guys, this stuff back to the west is what to watch. I'm going to change it back to composite real quick. Let's see. And then out. That line near Bartlesville is the one to watch. I think it gets here about 5. I can probably do some better extrapolation. This is just Garrett guessing. But what you have now is you have this area of storms that's lifting northeast, and then you have this whole complex that's moving south. So you do have a tornado watching effect, and you have a flash flooding risk with this, and you've also got a damaging wind risk with all this. This, if it looks like that, it's because it's a mess. You've got a lot going on this morning. But the long and short of it is, yeah, it's raining over Fayetteville now. We got more coming though, back to the west, and it's going to be here a little bit later, closer to dawn. Single side radar. Boom. All right, Fayetteville. Here we go again. That Pedro camera's going nuts again. That's Pedro's right here. It's looking westbound too, so that's not even looking at the worst part of the storm. White Rock, Savoy, 31. Here's Harmon Road. Heavy storms along West Weddington Drive. I was just glad there was like one day I was able to mow the yard. Do you guys want to know a 3:23 in the morning secret? There's part of the bushes in the front yard where I didn't take the Christmas lights off, and they've overgrown, and you can't tell. So I'm kind of debating what I'm not doing anything this weekend. It's too wet. But at this point, I mean, we're halfway to Christmas, right? I mean, should we just leave them on bushes at this point? What are we gonna do? Cut them? Hopefully, they wouldn't be plugged in. That'd be a shocking experience. But anyway, getting back to the yard work and the grass and everything else, it's June, and typically this time of year things get dead and dry, and it's nice to get the rain. But you're not gonna be able to mow. I guess you could mow, but it would be more towards the afternoon today. And even then, it might still be a little bit too wet. And why bother? There's more rain coming tonight anyway, right? Let's see here. Curious to see what sunset looks like. Oop. Northbound sunset. This is in Springdale. Looking north. Here's another look at it. So the Holiday Inn would be to the right and behind me if I was looking in this direction. And that doesn't look that bad though, as far as lightning goes. I know it's loud. But this whole area rain is just going to keep pummeling Springdale and Fayetteville. I think the flash flooding risk just keeps going up, up, up. Definitely don't drive over. Meteorologists say this. People always go, I got four-wheel drive. Well, it doesn't matter. Water's going to still sweep you off the road. Don't drive into the flooded areas. Nighttime flash flooding is some of the worst because you can't see it and you drive into it. So be cautious if you have to go out the next couple hours for any reason, just because the water levels may be hard to gauge and judge. Heavy thunderstorm still out over Fayetteville and 62, place where it's been storming nonstop. Here's Cato Springs Road and Wilson Road, again near Greenland, where we've had the nonstop rainfall. Let's do a little analysis real quick, make sure there's nothing spinning in this thing. Wide view, animate. Nope. Some gusty winds, but nothing that appears to me to be causing any concern for a tornado at the moment. Cranky skies tonight, huh? A little more redevelopment down there. Yeah, looks like it right there. See it? West of Winslow. And there's a lot of rain in Fayetteville, y'all. I mean, I don't think we could get 2.5 inches out of this overnight. You gotta be real careful for flash flooding with that much rain. Farther north, got a little bit in Cave Springs and High Full, as well as Lowell. Another little bit in Bentonville, but the heaviest is still here near Fayetteville, northwest of Goshen. Um, mm, Call it south of University of Arkansas, basically. Again, here's another look at it. Taking us wide. Once this thing moves through, we're gonna catch a little small break, and then we're gonna be doing it again. Talk about getting clobbered in Fayetteville this morning, man. Looking back to the north a little bit, out towards Healing Springs and Rocky Comfort. New scan. Let's see. That's going to be along North Main Street. There's Robbins Road. Um, Marchant, Valley Lane, Quail Run, Kingdom Park Circle, Oak Drive, Deek Lane, Amy Drive, Greenbrier Road, 112, Carey Smith Road. This is close to Elm Springs. And this is also tracking towards Cave Springs right now. Cave Springs is also in this warning polygon on the northern extent of it. So is some of Rogers too, southern part of Rogers. So same area that was, of course. I mean, that's why we're under a flash flood warning. It's the same area I was just talking about earlier. So you got it around East Lowell, South Rainbow Road, Stores Avenue, Garrett Road, Mount Hebron, and West Monroe. There's Bellevue and West Monroe, the intersection that's needed a stoplight for about 50 years instead of a stop sign. Here's Main Street, North Main, South. Let's try this again. North Main Street, South Elm Springs. Someone got wordy with that. But there's Brown Road to the north. That's easier to say. This would be, well, I'll tell you what we'll do. Just turn on this map and zoom in and then watch what happens. At some point we should get neighborhoods, shouldn't we? Wrong radar source. You're not awake yet, Lewis. Try it again. Yeah. So here's Beausoleil, Spring Ridge, Camelot near Elm Springs. There's Huron Crest, right over Harbor High, Oak Grove, Arkansas Children's, Northwest Arkansas Ballpark. There's the Tyson Rec Center, the Links in Springdale, Tyson Foods, Johnson Mill, Blessings, Belle Claire Estates, and then moving north into Lowell. Um, quite a few here from near Brentwood and Ridgewood over to Lakewood, Weatherton, Cross Creek, Lexington, Bellevue, Montreux, Bent Tree, Mount Hebron Park, Allen's Mill, Otter Creek, pretty good thunderstorm over us, isn't there? Shadow Valley, Liberty Bell, out towards Pinnacle, Osage House, Scissortail, Aurora, Summerlin, Brighton Heights, Lockmore Club, Village on the Creeks. It's not that heavy right now out at the Walmart amp, but it's going to pick up a little bit here in the promenade too. The Greens, um, Uptown Rogers, out towards Hunt Towers, Williamsburg Place, and Bent Tree, Madison on the east side over by Rogers High School. So all those neighborhoods about to get smacked with this thing. See it lifting north? Boom! There we go. So some heavy wind, heavy showers and storms with it. Don't see anything that's rotating, but hail. A little bit of hail in Fayetteville, nothing in Lowell though. Let's take you to a wide view. Maybe the thunder just woke you up. If it did, here you go. I think I went to bed at like 8 o'clock last night. So I got plenty of sleep. I was tired yesterday. Haven't had the coffee though, so I'm a little loopy.